Jeff has done a superb job on this and deserves credit. So it's not to say that we shouldn't answer this question to the best of our ability for the public. We have told people that the excess revenues of this project can generate probably at least a third of the funding coming from private sector sources. So if you look at that, you look at the money that we have right now, you look at the bond money, you look at the potential for cap and trade, we actually are A, further down the road than a lot of projects of this size, and B, I'm going to make the provocative statement that if the legislature does provide us the cap and trade allocation, we have a more stable ongoing revenue stream than just about any transportation project out there. And I hear people say all the time, well, you know, the highway system has the Federal Highway Trust Fund, which last time I checked is completely and totally oversubscribed. So I don't know how you make the argument that any new highway project has a dedicated funding stream when they're tapping into something that is already overdrawn. So I want to put this in perspective, and I guess I would just say, Mr. Morales, that to the extent that given this commentary comes up all the time, as you and staff look at this document, if we can provide any further clarification or context, perhaps, on funding, that would be good. And finally, the last thing I would ask the staff to take a look at, it was disheartening for me to read the number of comments of people who said, you're not building what we voted for in Prop 1A. And it's disheartening for a number of reasons. As a public official, sworn, as Ms. Selby did this morning, to uphold our state constitution and its state laws, I take that pretty personally, number one. And number two, it's just sad for me because I think we have just not done an adequate job. I'll point the finger back at us. We have not done an adequate job of explaining what it is we're doing. And I just had this commentary yesterday because I have an unfortunate penchant to participate in some of the blog comments that are out there, which always makes our public affairs staff a little nervous. But as I said in a posting I made yesterday, you know, there's just a lot of confusion between what the system will look like as it's being built compared to what the system will look at once it is built. And we are building the system in phases, both laterally and vertically. Vertically means we start to improve existing rail service, make early investments, and build up to full high-speed rail. The end state of what we are building is exactly and precisely what the voters voted for in Proposition 1A. A 200-mile-an-hour capable train system serving the major population centers of this state, clean because it's electrified, and able to convey people from Los Angeles to San Francisco, designed to achieve that in 2 hours and 40 minutes. I have to say we had an unfortunate incident again last week with a newspaper report that misrepresented and misconstrued and misstated testimony in front of the state legislature about our design criteria, and took a statement made by a member of the peer review group who was talking about an illustrative 3-hour and 8-minute trip with stops to make the point that he'd been convinced by our staff that they had adequately looked at the ridership numbers and stress tested them, and that even in that length of time we made the ridership numbers, and conflated that with somehow not meeting the design criteria of the law. And there's no other way to state it except that it was wrong. So I would hope that one of the things we could do, maybe it's a pop-out section, maybe something, that tries to do a better job than I've done or we've done collectively of explaining to the public that this is being built in steps, but that the steps are leading somewhere. And where the steps lead to is what the public voted for in Proposition 1A. And I don't know anybody on this board who's not committed to that, and I am not aware of any action that this board has ever taken that in any way undermines our ability to achieve that goal. So having read these comments that keep saying you're not building what we voted for, I think we have an obligation to restate to the public and the legislature that we are. I didn't quite mean to go on my soapbox that long, but that one really got to me. So, Mr. Morales, if the staff could take a look at that.